Want to know my biggest regret from my cybersecurity career? In this video, we're going to talk about my biggest regret and something that I still see happening in people's journey today. But first, welcome to the channel or welcome back. My name is John Good, and on this channel, we talk all about cybersecurity. If you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you think of any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Also, make sure to check out the description for more resources and training. All right, let's do this. One of the things that I've noticed in my career, especially in the early years, is I don't think that I took the most efficient path to get where I am today. I've definitely had a successful career so far, so don't get me wrong, but the thing that I easily found myself doing was jumping to various subjects and certifications and not really following a solid direction. I see this all the time with people. First, they want to learn about Linux, then they want to get certified in firewalls, then they want to learn about Windows, and it's this constant cycle of taking a step or two forward and then a step or two back to learn things that they should have already known for a solid foundation of knowledge. It's kind of like when we talk about security and development and building it in. If you don't build in security into your development process, it's going to be a lot more expensive and time consuming later on. It's the same with your journey in your career. If you keep jumping ahead way farther than you're capable of doing, you're going to have to come back and learn things that you should have already known, and it's going to take you longer to learn those things. And you're probably sitting there asking, well, what kind of things can I learn so I avoid this kind of regret? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So at the very core of cybersecurity, you have to know about networking. So how networks operate and how the systems connected to them communicate with each other. If we compare this to how you learn things early on in school years, this is like learning your numbers and the alphabet, because everything today is connected and builds off of this knowledge. If we didn't have computers connected to each other, well, security would be a lot easier than it is. Next, you have to learn about operating systems. Windows is by far the most common operating system that you'll see users having on their computers, both at work and at home. Since most people these days grow up using Windows on a computer, it's a comfort zone that people have and something that you can tinker with easily at home on your personal devices without changing much. Learning Linux is also crucial in cybersecurity because we have a lot of our tools that are natively built for Linux, and also things like storage and processing power on the back end of functions in businesses use Linux. Now, one of the things with Linux is it can seem intimidating, especially if you kind of avoid it, but you have to get familiar with it. You have to get comfortable to be successful in this career field. Now, learning Linux and Windows is kind of like learning addition and subtraction because they're very similar, but there are some distinct differences between the two. Next, you got to learn about the cloud. Companies everywhere are trying to migrate to the cloud as much as possible for a lot of reasons, including cost, scalability, access for remote workforces. And if you wait till later in your career at this point in time, then it's definitely going to hurt you. Of course, you don't have to spin up 1,000 servers at home. That's just crazy. But the more that you can get familiar with it and comfortable, the better prepared that you're going to be for what's coming in your career. Now, the final thing that you need to learn about is programming. Now, before you start to freak out, because everybody starts to freak out when they hear programming, and before you tell me that you hate programming or that you're bad at math, let's talk about what I mean by this. First of all, you don't have to be a programming expert or anywhere near that to be successful in this career field. It's true that the more that you know, the more opportunities that you're going to have, and for different jobs and things like that, and you can make more money, of course. But did you know that most people in cybersecurity aren't programming experts? It's just not a thing. Even though you don't have to be a programming expert, there is zero reason why you can't learn how to make a simple script in Bash or PowerShell. Basically, these scripts just take commands that you're already running, and you can chain them together and easily rerun them. If you can automate tasks in your job, then even better. There's also communities like Stack Overflow where you can learn about programming and have other people in the industry or other industries that are really good at programming help to review your code for free. I want you to be aware though, some jobs are going to have a higher bar or a higher requirement for programming than others. But as a general rule, if you can at least learn to write some simple scripts and kind of understand how programming works, then you're going to be better off in your job and your career. All right, so this is Stack Overflow. And like I said, this is a really great resource for learning how to program, learning how to code, to script, anything like that. And they have some different plans that you can sign up for, but they do have this regular community here where you can search the content, and you can come in here and actually search for really anything regarding code or scripts So if you want to search for things like Python, you can do that. And you can see all kinds of different scripts that people are having. And it's a community-based thing. So if you go into one of these, you'll be able to comment and actually interact with people. Another option that I didn't really mention is GitHub. And this is also really popular. And this allows you to do basically the same kind of things, except this will actually manage code for you, and you can interact or contribute to other people's code and really just kind of have a collaborative environment with any programming language. And any kind of scripts that you're going to make, I would highly recommend that you create a GitHub account and store them on there. And then you can put that on your resume and share that with employers or peers or anybody else. Back to our school comparison, cloud's like multiplication and programming is like division. Although it could be harder if you need to know at a deeper level, but that's usually not at early career jobs. Now, a question that might be coming up that I want to address at this point is you might have heard me not mention any certifications up to this point, and that is for a very specific reason. The most important thing that you can do in this career field is learn the skills. There are valuable certifications out there depending on what you're going to do and things that you should focus on, and I've addressed them in other videos, but the important thing for this video is that you need to learn the skills. Now, something from my career is I started learning a lot about networking, and then I dove right into security. So especially with operating systems, I missed some information and I had to go back. I was comfortable with Windows and Linux, at least from a home standpoint, and knowing it to the enterprise level is a very different thing. And people always want to jump ahead. They want to jump ahead to the next certification, the next skill, whatever it is. And that can lead to imposter syndrome for sure, because you're not confident in those baseline and foundational activities and skills. You can reject what I'm telling you, and that's cool. You can definitely do that, but you need to be honest with yourself and your skill level. That's one thing that people just aren't doing enough. They're just not honest, at least with themselves, and what they need to build up. I hope that if you know anybody in a similar situation, you share this video with them. And I also hope that it's helpful to get an objective view on somebody's career that's already gone through this to help you out as well. Question of the day: what's one thing that you need to focus on learning more for cybersecurity? Let me know down in the comment section below. In this video, we talked all about my biggest regret and something that I still see happening in people's journeys today. Remember, this is your career journey, but the worst thing that you can do is not try to learn from other people's experiences that have gone through the journey before you and try to do it better. As always, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the description for more training and resources, and I'll see you next time.